Now, the first thing I want to say before anybody thinks that I'm standing on a soapbox, I will admit that I have made a bunch of dumbass mistakes on YouTube in the past before. Like, I used to feed the trolls, maybe even worse than Boogie has, or at least just as close or right behind. You're hurting your credibility, you're hurting your brand, you're hurting your channel, you need to stop, and I did. At the last minute, right before the ReviewTechUSA train was about to crash into the wall, but I did.
ReviewTechUSA has been a YouTuber on the platform for many years, first making his channel in November 22nd, 2008. He's one of the oldest YouTubers on the platform and has still maintained relevance and is able to adapt to the ever-changing platform. Rich, during the early days of his time on YouTube, was the target of many trolls and harassment, but Rich did something that most YouTubers don't really understand, and it's to take a joke. This is the story of Rich from ReviewTechUSA and his humble beginnings on the platform and how he became the target from troll campaigns to being able to take a joke himself. But hey, I guess anyone can change on the internet these days, so take notes. Rich's first video was uploaded on August 2008, where he uploads a video called Why I Game, which is mainly a video where Rich discusses why he plays games and why he likes Castlevania. This video was yet to show his face or even discuss gaming news, which is what his channel would later evolve into. In November of that year, Rich started his ReviewTechUSA channel, and he started YouTube in July 2008 due to his ex-girlfriend breaking up with him and thus giving him the idea to start RLM Audio, based off his dad's initials and occupation at the time, then eventually rebranding to ReviewTechUSA. But despite all this, he was more active at Blip TV at the time, which was sort of an alternate YouTube that was around back in the day. He later left that channel and also left That Guy with the Glasses, which was part of Channel Awesome, and he started to focus on his own YouTube channel, ReviewTechUSA.
Guys, the processor in the Wii U is too slow. It's only 1.2 gigahertz, and there's no way it could play next generation games. Really? Are we gonna go there?
He would then upload more videos, and during a 300 subscriber special, he would show off one of his characters and the voice that pretty much becomes a staple of his videos today.
I gotta bring these games back for the Atari 2600 because that guy on Craigslist was a jackass. And it's also special because I've hit 300 subscribers.
Rich would make videos on little by little on certain things that were going on in gaming. Also, a little aside, in my BlackBusterCritic video I mentioned how Jamin and Rich ended up debating each other. It was a classic console versus PC gaming debate. Rich would end up losing this debate against Jamin. Check out my video on BlackBusterCritic if you haven't seen that.
I couldn't really come back with anything I'm on, and I'm going to give him this one. And, you know, yeah, I think that you have to have a set of nuts admit it when someone wins, too. You won this one, man, and I'll give it to you.
Thank you, my friend. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Oh, you guys want some stage clear music?
BlackBusterCritic and ReviewTechUSA would eventually have another beef later in 2013, but I'll go over that later in the video. In 2011, he would start making consistent content about gaming. Then in 2012, he would do a face reveal.
Oh, hi there!
Rich's channel started growing more rapidly in 2012 to 2013, and Rich would begin to work on many part-time jobs that paid horribly, but he still would make constant rants and talk about his experiences in those videos.
Final retail job, it's actually the last job I had before I started doing ReviewTechUSA full-time. They weren't retail jobs, but I worked for IBM, I did IT there, I was a technician there for a while. But when I got laid off from there in 2009, I had to find some kind of work. And the last job I had before I did ReviewTechUSA as my full-time gig was working as the front desk night manager at a gym. You would have a stack of paperwork this big, and you had to get it done. If you didn't get it done, you would have to punch out and work unpaid until the paperwork from the night shift was done. And it happened all the time.
In fact, the main reason he started his YouTube channel was because he got laid off from one of his many jobs, and he was just trying to make things work in his life. He got laid off in 2008 because of the economic crisis. Then in 2013, he quit one of his part-time jobs to become a full-time YouTuber. In 2014 and 2015, Rich's channel would gain more significant growth as he started to talk more about gaming-related news and rant on specific things that were going on in technology and gaming. Now, before things go further, we should talk more about the modern days on YouTube and how his channel has evolved throughout the time. There's actually a lot more lore related to Rich, and because of how long he's been on the platform, Rich is an example of someone that has been pretty honest, but not everyone liking him right off on his YouTube career. He was targeted by a lot of online trolls and other YouTube commentators. There were definitely some bumps in Rich's time on YouTube, and he would probably even agree with the statement that I'm making. He would even state in a lot of his videos that he made mistakes in his early YouTube days and how he learned from them.
With all of the drama going on YouTube, and with an idiot like me who has made many of the mistakes that I'm going to discuss on here.
So if you guys are interested in that stuff, you know, get some popcorn, get some favorite bag of chips. You guys like Cheddar Lays? Get Cheddar Lays, eat those up, you know what I mean? I'm not sponsored by them, but let's just continue. The first beef and controversy being with BlackBusterCritic and ReviewTechUSA. This would start with e-begging. In April 2013, Rich uploaded a video, "I Need Your Help," with a PayPal logo for the thumbnail to try to get fans to donate money to Rich so he could buy a $350 Sony camcorder. He also stated that he would promise to pay back anyone who donated money to him. But this is 2013, and really begging for money for anything really did lead to a lot of controversy. This led to the beef with BlackBusterCritic starting up again. Speaking of e-begging, Patreon in the description. I'm kidding, but actually, sort of. Anyways, Rich was called out for e-begging by Jamin Williams, BlackBusterCritic himself, and he is just really good at debating people. If you don't know who Jamin is, he pretty much, if he sees blood in the water, he's gonna go after you. He's super calculated and disciplined when he debates people. He's rarely, I don't even think ever, has lost to somebody in a debate.
This is your BlackBusterCritic, a Sony HDR 260V. And let me tell you right now, it is a phenomenal camera. And I bought this with my own money. How about that? I didn't have to come onto YouTube and make a video begging my subscribers for a camera that I not necessarily needed but wanted. It does serve a purpose, but it is in fact my responsibility for my own equipment. So if there's something I need, I have the pride, the self-respect, and the work ethic to go out, work the extra hours, and make the money to buy the product that I feel that I need. I am not gonna beg my subscribers for money for something that I'm going to own. That's no shot at anyone in particular.
Hello, BlackBusterCritic. It's your old buddy Rich from ReviewTechUSA, or ReviewBegUSA. You've had some colorful things to say about me, but unlike many other people, I'm not afraid to actually talk to you on Skype. Let's just do it the good old-fashioned way and debate it live on Skype and see how it goes. The offer's on the table, buddy. Hopefully you accept. Going to bed. Have a good one.
Unexpected development here, but already this particular person has admitted defeat. Now, how did he do this? He fell into a very classic trap. There's a reason why I mentioned no names in my previous video. You know why? Because the guilty party will always point themselves out. I said it could be applied to a lot of people, but this one particular person personally came to my video and was talking trash. But as I said before, the offended are the offenders. No one is going to get offended if they're not an offender. You exposed yourself. And if you want to come out and Skype me and debate like you say you do, that's fine. Just bear in mind that I know everything that you have said for the past few months. And I know plenty of things, plenty of questions to ask you, which you're gonna goof up on. Just like in our last debate, how I led you by the hand like a child encountering your own points. That's what's gonna happen again. Not only did you admit defeat before, but you're more than likely gonna admit defeat today as well. Just a heads up. The person who labeled himself as the e-beggar, who insulted a person who didn't even mention his name, who then made a challenge video to the person whom he called a leech, accusing him of trying to grab the guy's views and subscribers, then backs out of the challenge as soon as the guy says, okay, we can go ahead and talk. I'll find some theme music that we can play just like last time. It'll be fun. He backs out. He backs down. He has supposedly been trying to let go of this drama, but he's been consistently responding to it and being in the drama for nearly a month now. Finally, after nearly a month, finally he decides to let it go. Do not let this happen again.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Rich, at the Cupcake Factory right now. I saw a BlackBusterCritic's video where he bought the same camera I bought. I hope to God he didn't just do that just to troll. It was an indirect trolling video. I'll admit he's the one he was talking about. I didn't scam anybody. I know he's a trolling videos. I know. Want to see I'm making the payments? Follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/ReviewTechUSA, and you'll see that I'm actually paying the thing back. And whether I had the money or not, either way, it could be written off as a business expense, which wasn't my intention. Thanks, though. I appreciate the shout out. Hope you guys get some views off of talking shit about me. Hope it works out for you. See ya.
I am so sick and tired of these e-beggars here on YouTube acting like they're victims. Now, before we get into the main e-beggar that we're going to talk about, who lives in the USA, so you know what I did? I bought this Sony camera. The same one that one of our e-beggar friends got. And you know how I did it? Come here. It's a secret. I worked hard. 4 months. He has been damage controlling himself, defending himself, and lately he made a new video where he's comparing himself to someone who abused Kickstarter. You didn't like how it was turning out. You didn't like all the negative feedback, so you know what you said you were going to do? You said you were going to return the camcorder and refund all the money. That's what you said you're going to do. That's what you said you were going to do to fix everything and just get this just swept off the board. But guess what? You didn't do that. That doesn't make sense why he's doing that. It's tax return season. Why don't he just file his tax return and just get the camcorder? He sold that very camcorder. Yes, he sold the camcorder that his fans donated to him for. He sold the camcorder that he has damage control for the past few months. He sold the camcorder that all his fans defended him for. And he bought another camera that wasn't even purposed for taking video. Every 10 minutes that it records video, it overheats and shuts off. This tech guy sold the camcorder that his fans purchased for him. Now, do not respond to this video. Please. Please don't.
Man, that nap sure screwed me up before. I'm sure I'm tired. Let me just randomly pan across my desk for no particular... Oh! Look at this. It's a Sony camcorder. Man, I could have swore that I sold this for a Canon T3i, but I didn't. It's right here. Man, I wonder who this video is for. I don't know. Get a clue before you talk about me. Toodles.
Some of you already know what happened. I have used this very same trick on members of the commentating community. I've used this very same trick. It always works. Let me explain to you guys exactly what just happened. The said person that was referring to in the video inadvertently confirmed everything else I said. So you counted as one thing now that's for you, but everything else is still there. You want to dress. You know why you want to dress it? Because you can't disprove it. You attacked the one monster I have with 200 attack power. Because anything else that you would have attacked would have destroyed you. So I got plenty of trap cards. And you fell into every single one. So we're just going to leave it at that.
It's probably a 40-minute long beef in total, so I can link it in the description if you guys want to watch it. So what did Rich do wrong? Well, not only thinking he could beat Jamin in a debate is one thing, Jamin is known for destroying people and just debates in general, but here what actually happened is Rich was asking for money from his audience to buy a new camcorder, and he later said he would pay back with donations or give the money to charity in some way or use it as a tax write-off. Just overall pretty unnecessary. Now granted, begging for a camera on the internet is maybe more commonplace on YouTube these days, where people could maybe use a GoFundMe to raise funds for something like that, but Rich changed his story many times on how the money was going to be used and given back to people, given to charity, so on and so forth. It just became way more messier than it probably should have been, and when BlackBusterCritic sees blood in the water, the man is like a shark, he just doesn't stop. The beef reached its finality when BBC went on Facebook and heard Rich was bragging about a new camera that he bought, and BBC then made a rumor that Rich sold the original camera that his fans crowdfunded for him in order to buy a new camera. This led to the beef where Rich making a sarcastic yet hilarious video showing that he had both cameras. This then ended up with Jamin making another hilarious response video where Jamin reveals the secret that he pulled on Rich the whole time. If you don't understand what Jamin just did, basically Rich proved to his audience that he was able to get a camera anyways, thus proving to BBC and everyone else that he was right. The whole point of the e-begging video was pointless and unnecessary, when the whole time Rich was able to buy a camera. So yeah, BBC again as the victor, being 2-0 in the internet beefs against Rich. If you want to check out more on BlackBusterCritic, I made a video on him as well, link on the side. Shuhei Yoshida dunking on Rich. On October 28th, 2013, Rich uploaded a video of the PS4 and Xbox One's launch disasters are imminent, please share, where Rich speaks on the online versions of PS4 and Xbox One games such as Watch Dogs, Call of Duty Ghosts, saying that they were in 720p instead of 1080p, and it was claiming it was the DRM that was causing lag. Not only was Rich horribly wrong with this video was reported pretty poorly, that even the president of Sony dunked on Rich's video, calling it stupid. Moving on. The BigCheeseGaming beef. This is the holy grail of Rich of ReviewTechUSA beef, as pretty much started a bunch of reoccurring beef for Rich here on out. December 2014, Rich got in a beef with one of his former friends at the time, BigCheeseGaming, aka Jakeem Johnson. Jakeem let Rich borrow his computer for months prior in July 2014 for return for 3 weekly advertisements for his Big Cheese channel for a 6-month period, and also getting $200 via PayPal to help pay for his wife's sickness, which Rich initially was doing for a while, but eventually Rich went cold turkey and stopped paying the $200 via PayPal. Rich returned Big Cheese's gaming computer before the 6-month period would end, which meant Rich thought that he didn't need to advertise his channel anymore or pay the $200. He just thought the agreement was over. Rich pretty much ended a agreement that he had with him without really even talking over it with Big Cheese, which was kind of slimy and a little bit like weird of why he randomly did this without even talking to him. Big Cheese made a video about it, which pretty much went viral.
Make sure that every business transaction you do is in contract. Don't mess up like I did. Let me be an example of why you don't do business by word of mouth. Always do contracts. Here's my story. Man, I tell you, I never thought that this day was coming. Like, honestly, I didn't. I had no problem with this guy at all. I supported his channel. I appreciated everything that he has done for me as far as my YouTube channel. There was no problems with this guy until money was involved. People been asking and asking and asking and asking.
How much you pay him to advertise your channel? How do you know Review Tech? Are you guys friends?
Well, I'm going to give you an answer now. This relationship or business relationship between me and Rich from ReviewTechUSA, there's no more business. There's no relationship, there's no partnership, there's nothing. But I'm not a pushover, and if you try to screw me over business-wise, I will legally stomp you and smile while doing it. Just a word of advice. Rich, bruh, you're playing the victim once again. You are a victim, an emotional victim. So Rich from ReviewTechUSA, who really screwed who over? Who was really broke and desperate? Who's really a fraud? Who's really a scumbag? You do bad business. You are unprofessional. And in my honest opinion, I don't want to affiliate myself with you anymore. You burnt the bridge with me for no reason. It was all over $200 that you owed me. I mean, you got the 200, right? I mean, you're Mr. Review Tech USA. Skip it up, that up. I mean, you are who you are, right? You're getting all these views, you're getting all this money, you're financially stable, you got this and that, right? All you had to do was send me 200, we would have been cool, we would have been straight. This is what you agreed upon.
Despite all this though, Rich finally did understand what he did wrong. He apologized and made a video quickly after Jakeem's video coming out, and he paid him the $200.
So here it is. I paid Big Cheese, and I guess I do owe him an apology. Even though I was willing to send back the product, I guess he was depending on the money that I was going to send him, and it kind of blindsided him. In my defense, I truly didn't feel I was doing something wrong. I will say that. But now, hindsight being 2020, I realize where he was coming from. And there it is, man. You got your 200. And I'm sorry about putting this through a shit show.
As a consequence, though, Rich inherited the Big Cheese Crusaders, which more on them later. This stuff would haunt him for probably more than a year after, and people would again start coming into his comments pretending they were the Big Cheese Crusaders and saying that they were going to fight for Big Cheese, even though Big Cheese didn't really ask for this stuff.
So what the hell happened?
Well, in regards to, well, what's going on, everybody? Big Cheese here. Y'all know what's going on. You know, the BC Crusaders, that's what they call themselves. How the hell you crusading me? But they call themselves the BC Crusaders. They spammed DDoS my Twitch page, a bunch of followers with my home phone number, saying that my wife's a whore, and then my mom has cancer, and then says I have your mailing address and stuff like that. So it's been pretty much the cyber harassment, cyber attacking towards me.
They did the same thing to me too. So without going into detail, because you could find a billion, it actually became a meme for a while on YouTube. What happened with Big Cheese and me, there was a business deal we had. It went sour, but we squashed it within, what would you say, 24 hours of it happening?
Pretty much.
And ever since then, it was over.
Over time, though, Rich and Big Cheese would eventually squash the beef, and they would later be friends again. However, this situation would pretty much haunt Rich for much longer than I'm sure he anticipated. Rich contemplated disabling his comments because of the Big Cheese Crusaders constantly just bothering him. But overall, Rich learned over time that he just had to embrace the meme and kind of just let them have. He eventually just decided that they're just going to say whatever they are going to say, and just he had to get over it. The RTUCritic. This is some sort of weird butterfly effect here, because ReviewTechUSA was getting a lot of commentators in the community that sort of started some sort of crusade, pun intended, where people just had the want and need to troll Rich on YouTube. The RTUCritic being one of them, where his name is literally a direct reference to the previous beefs that Rich was a part of. Now, in all honesty, do I think Rich deserves all the trolling that he's getting at this point on? No, I wouldn't. But could he have made changes to make things different? Possibly. In April 2015, one of Rich's trolls, known as the RTUCritic, who associated himself with the Big Cheese Crusaders, began a campaign ending Rich's career. He excessively spammed Rich's Facebook, scared off his sponsors, prank called Rich while he was at his local gym, revealed some family photos, called Rich's ex-wife at the time, also tried to trademark the name ReviewTechUSA, and began stalking Rich via a GPS tracker. To the point where it's just starting to get kind of weird. If you're an online troll and this is the thing you're doing, I think you're kind of pushing it.
This guy, who's also was Review Hell USA, which is funny because he actually denounced, and he deleted his tweet because I looked for it. He denounced that he was Review Hell USA. The RTUCritic said, "I'm not him. Who is he?" If you've noticed in his newest video, he has no qualms about letting everyone know he's the RTUCritic again, or Review Hell USA again. But let me ask you a question. Just give me my 200. You think the personal shit that goes on outside of YouTube and Twitter, you think that's necessary? You think that's funny? I know you don't think it's funny because you came to me and said your conscience was coming after you because of the personal shit going on. I probably still even have that Facebook conversation with you.
I'm going to have to talk to a lawyer again. Basically, what every lawyer has said to me is that he's overseas, so we don't want to touch him.
In May 9th, 2015, Rich revealed a death threat on his Facebook page from a user called Tony MLG Master Dutch, another RTUCritic account, and therefore did not attend Too Many Games convention. On November 10th, 2015, the RTUCritic doxed Rich again and leaked his personal information to the general public. On February 21st, 2016, Rich challenged the RTUCritic to a boxing match to settle their differences, even though he never accepted Rich's challenge. Later that month, the RTUCritic was actually doxed. This led to Rich eventually getting the upper hand. I'm not going to reveal the dox, but you can figure it out. The guy's out there.
This is something, honest to God, that I really don't want to do, because I really don't give a fuck enough. I don't get off on exposing people like you do, because I'm not a shell of a human being. But I've had this information for a while, and if you keep saying that you're not Jason or 1AT220 from YouTube after I show this evidence, you're a fucking idiot. So let's get into it. So we all know the video I made many moons back that showed that Jason called my gym and he tried to disguise his voice, but I actually matched his voice to 1AT220. You could actually take a listen right here.
What's that?
Hi, there's someone that's currently at your gym, and I was wondering if I could speak to them, and it's an emergency.
Who did you need to speak to?
And his name is Richard Masucci.
That first clip was Jason calling my gym. Now listen to the voice on 1AT220. That's the YouTube channel. They sound identical.
Alright guys, back with another video. This time it's sort of advice on global elimination, real time, and CryEngine. Open up CryEngine as usual.
People still desperately tried to say I was speculating, but I mean, there's not even like a shadow of a doubt. The voices. Let's to check out his other channel. I'm really excited about this. Let's click that read more button and see what happens. There's a link. Oh, look at that. The link that 1AT220, aka Jason Falconer, posted leads you to the RTUCritic. That's so weird. Oh, I know what happened, you dumb. You forgot about you posting that link in your Polyhertz video and you made it your backup RTUCritic channel. Oops.
The RTUCritic was revealed to be a Scottish man in his late 20s, and he's from Edinburgh, whom he tried to make other YouTube accounts such as AT&T220 and ReviewTechUSA. He made dozens of rich ReviewTechUSA accounts trying to slander him and just troll him in the comments. Despite the critic's identity being known, he still continued taunting Rich through the lesser extent and was later blocked in May of that year. In July 2016, Rich attempted to file a lawsuit against him, and then on August 9th, 2016, he was also invited to sort of a internet show where they could discuss the situation together, but RTUCritic decided he didn't want to show up. After RTUCritic got doxxed, he basically stopped going after Rich to the same extent he previously was before. In December 2016, the RTUCritic's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter account would be eventually removed, most likely for all the harassment that he was doing. This would mostly end the beef between the two. There would be slight remarks here and there, probably from both parties, but the beef here with RTUCritic would mostly come to an end. Keemstar versus ReviewTechUSA. Now this is sort of an ironic debate that happened between Rich and Keemstar. January 23rd, 2016, Rich got in a heated debate on Twitter with Keemstar, who criticized Rich for proposing to create a Patreon donation account on a Twitter survey, which Rich's fans said no to. Keemstar claimed that Rich was making at least 10 grand a month and didn't need a Patreon, claiming that Patrons are normally for small YouTube creators like honest content. Rich then claimed that Keemstar's Steam.me livestream account had a donation box, and it's basically the same thing, which Keemstar denied, and Keemstar later blocked Rich on Twitter.
If you're a YouTuber and you're making like at least $10,000 a month, and you have a Patreon, I find that scummy. I do. Like, why would you ask your fans for money when you could give money back to your fans? I mean, you're the one that's blessed.
Keemstar and Rich would then debate, and it would be live streamed. Although it wouldn't necessarily be called a beef where Rich lost, Keemstar definitely was a little bit of a hypocrite this time around, and definitely was caught in a little bit of a paradox, and probably was just trying to start drama. The debate ended in a stalemate as neither one of them could decide on an agreement.
He wanted to involve himself in this conversation, so
Yeah.
he twisted it. He compared and tried to make a Patreon on YouTube the same thing as a donate button on a stream, which they are not the same fucking thing, all right? So look, you manipulated the situation, you lied 3 times, we've already went over this 100 times, and you know what, now I've backed you in a corner and you're not making a Patreon, so I'll take it as a win.
Dude, don't
Anyone
even try.
else can say
You're
whatever
trying-
the fuck they want,
you're
I'll take it as a
trying
win.
Yeah, of course you're going to take it as a win. You're like making these things and putting them in there to make it as a win. The bottom line is
take it as a win. You're not making a Patreon.
Hold on, no.
No, you're not making. I'm not making a Patreon because of you. I wasn't making a Patreon before this. So calm down.
He said that he wasn't going to make a Patreon because of this situation earlier in this debate, and now he's saying that he wasn't going to do one from the beginning. I mean, you just lied again. God damn it!
You're trying to make it that I'm lying about things, and
But
I'm
you
not.
did earlier in this conversation.
No. To be fair,
he just
that was
lied
in response to
again.
no. That was in response to my question. I said after this, you're not.
Yeah,
gonna
he
make a
asked
Patreon.
me a question.
And he
It
said
wasn't
no.
like, oh my god, I'm on this stream with Keemstar. I'm so scared. I'm not going to make a Patreon. It had nothing to do with this fucking debate. Come on, man.
The actual debate of he said, she said isn't going to go anywhere because you see the two things differently. You see Patreon and donate buttons as completely separate and different, and they're in different contexts, so the same rules don't apply. And Rich is like, it's kind of the same thing. Now, I will go ahead and say that I assume that a lot of the audience might agree one way or the other. It's not going to be resolved. I don't think you're going to convince each other of right or wrong on that at all. That's not going to happen.
Keemstar and Rich would pull some side remarks at each other here and there, and they would make videos on each other, but this debate would ultimately end in a stalemate. This would lead into the second part of the Keemstar era, being the false flagging. This would happen years later. This situation could probably be its own video, where if you guys want me to cover Monday Matt at some point, leave a comment down below. So this situation indirectly affected Rich when YouTuber Monday Matt was causing a false flagging campaign on any video that was criticizing him. This led to many people asking Monday Matt to show his flag history in order to prove his innocence, and however, when he showed his flag history, he took a hilariously long amount of time, pretty much hours, most likely scrubbing videos from his flag history. And when he finally showed his flag history, it showed that Matt was lying the whole time, and he was false flagging tons of content that were critical of him. This led to Monday Matt losing whatever little credibility he had left, and he has been memed indefinitely at this point. Rich was then targeted by Keemstar and many other YouTubers and streamers due to his close connection with Monday Matt.
Matt fucked up. Okay. He admitted he fucked up. When I talked to him privately, he admitted he screwed up. The advice I gave Matt was the same advice that a buddy of mine, Jay, gave me a few months ago, and I needed to hear it. And I'm like, Matt, you need to hear the same fucking advice that I was given, and you need to get like a metaphorical slap across the face to wake up. You need to stop feeding into the... He was letting it eat in him, and when you let the drama eat at you, it makes you do stupid shit. I'm not justifying what he did. What he did was wrong, and it bit him in the ass, and he lied about it for 2 hours straight in the live stream. Will you show your YouTube history report like Monday Matt did, because there is rumors you reported Anna Doyle? I'm not showing any reports. I didn't report him, but I'm not showing any reports. It's not that there's nothing to hide. I've even admitted that I flagged videos before where people would just literally take my videos and re-upload them. But I'm not getting to that. I will tell you this, that there are channels that people swear that I reported. That these people fell on the sword because of due to me. I didn't. Well, trolls out. I knew that was going to be a thing.
Greedy little grubby person you are.
No, listen to me.
And every time I see a video from you, it's just stupid opinions. I don't know why you're on the fucking internet anymore. You're dumb. You get everything wrong. You say over and over again. Okay, I've calmed down. I understand that you want to make peace and that you're sorry. Olive branch out there if you show your flag history.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Can I stream it to you so you don't think I'm?
Yeah, sure. Okay. What we'll do is we'll do a hangout. Right, Geek? That's probably the best way.
I have 13 from since I made this channel over almost a decade ago.
So you flagged 13 videos.
Since I had the channel since 2008. Started active on it in 2000.
Them about you? Are any of the videos about you?
Of course. What the hell would they be about? If they're about me, you'll see what they are.
All right.
Boomer Tech, the videos that you have been flagging have been about you, right? People criticizing you,
not just criticism, it's misinformation. You're going to see in like 10 seconds. Gee, I wonder why I flagged that down. I don't know.
Wait,
Look at the
e-begging.
You were offering an olive branch. Where's that olive branch?
Yeah.
I showed my history, and it wasn't bad.
Well, I can't. No, it was bad. Your history was very, very bad.
No,
one in the chat if his history was bad. Matt Modane, he flagged what, like 7 videos of people criticizing him? You flagged 13, 17 or whatever. It was bad.
Rich, right now, I'm willing to stop making videos on you, Rich, if you promise me on this live stream, that you're going to improve. That you're going to learn to take criticism and not classify it as harassment, and that you are not going to flag any more videos on anyone criticizing you.
I won't flag criticism.
And let's be real, Keem and Rich probably have still a slight amount of beef with each other on the low to this day. Keemstar was asking Rich to show his flag history, as people thought he was going to a lengthy event to flag people as well. At first, Rich wasn't going to show it because he saw it as a YouTube fad and he didn't really need to. After enough pushing, he did show his flag history, and his most recent flags were 5 years in the past. Although he did flag videos that were spreading slander and harassing him, his flag history was nowhere near as long and recent as Monday Matt's. All in all, I don't really think Rich did anything wrong here. He was just an indirect target because he was friends with Monday Matt. In conclusion, you might think I've been overly critical of Rich throughout the video, but this is where it turns around. Around in 2017-2018, a new era of Rich of ReviewTechUSA was born. He seemed a lot more jovial, was down to spread more jokes and memes on his channel. His overall mood seemed a lot more positive throughout all of his videos, and his content definitely improved. Rich said that one of his friends gave him some advice that he shouldn't let these online arguments and drama get under his skin and affect his content, aka don't feed the trolls. Rich realized this tenfold and really made a difference in his overall content, and probably even his overall well-being. The man has lost a lot of weight, so congrats on Rich for losing the weight. He also has a family, he has a YouTube career that is successful enough now where he can support his family, so congrats to Rich. Now, what lesson did he learn? Well, you can put yourself in a lot of unnecessary drama that can hurt your channel and still come out on the other side. People still try to get under Rich's skin even to this day, but these videos don't really affect him like they used to, which shows some real character development for him, so I really, think he did a good job here. In a sort of retrospective love letter to himself, he figured this out in a video in 2019 of what not to do on YouTube.
I always see channels destroy themselves by making the same mistakes over and over and over again. I almost went down the same path, so I just want to make it abundantly clear that as I make this video, I am not standing on a soapbox, because if it wasn't for me getting advice from the outside saying, hey Rich, if you keep doing the dumb crap you're doing, you're not going to have a YouTube career at all, I would have done the same thing and probably not been on YouTube anymore myself. And thankfully someone shook me, woke me up, and made me realize that I was making terrible mistakes, because I would probably be working for UPS right now.
Where he is pretty much being honest and mentioning the mistakes that he made throughout his career and how he learned from them. And I would say that Rich really turned himself around 2017 onward. Rich will even try to help other YouTubers that are in similar situations right now by spreading advice. Boogie2988. So shoutouts to Rich for literally embracing the memes and just being a down-to-earth guy. So if Rich can turn things around, then I'm sure other people can too. That was a really corny sentence to end things on, but I'm just going to end it on that. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. If you guys want to help donate to my Patreon, I do appreciate that. You get content early, so on and so forth. Check it out if you guys are interested. I appreciate all of you guys. Take care and peace.